Mentally speaking, where would you say you live most of the time? In the past, the present, or the future?
I mean, I feel like I have to live in the present because of my children. I feel like if alcohol is involved, I live in the past, which alcohol is normally involved. So I would say it's a good mixture of the present and past. I don't think about the future too much.
Oh, I feel like I live more in the future than I live in the past or the present. Like, I'm always generally thinking about the next thing that I have to do.
I just don't see what living in the future gets you. To me, thinking about the future is angst. It's worries. It's, man, the bills are coming up, or, I have this deadline or that deadline, or I have to do this, I have to do that. Man, it's going to be 35 degrees in a month. I better get outside and finish my lawn. Like, I would rather just live in the here and now and take it day to day.
Yeah, but if you lived more in the future, then maybe you wouldn't see so much anxiety about the future. Like, maybe the reason that you don't want to think about what's next is because you haven't prepared for it. And so then it causes you anxiety because you're like, oh, I got to do all this stuff because you weren't ready to do it.
I think being prepared for the future and thinking about the future are two different things. Like, I'm ready for the future. In an hour from now, I'm going to be ready for an hour from now. But, like, thinking about the future, what good does that do you? What good does planning really do anyone? That's my question.
I think that you have to have an overall general plan of, like, where you want your life to go or goals that you have to accomplish. But I do agree with you. Like, I don't generally think too much about the future because everything's just kind of too unknown. Like, you never really know what life is going to give you. So I think if you have too much of a plan, you can't adapt.
I mean, I just feel like if you over prepare, if you lay out your life and you live strategically and you live stringently towards, say, a goal, and then you get hit by a bus, what was that all for? I mean, what was all the worrying, all the thought? Like, just live in the here and now. If you want a cheeseburger, go get a cheeseburger.
Yeah, dude, but if you YOLO everything, then you ain't going to live very long. I never understood that saying, life is short. Like, no, life is not short. It's the longest thing you're ever going to do.
I mean, for some.
Yeah, but still, it's still the longest thing that you're ever going to do. No matter how long you're on this planet, it's still the longest thing you're ever going to do.
I would just love to have the child's mentality. Imagine if every adult in the world had the child's mentality of just living in the moment and just enjoying that moment for what it was. I think the world would be a lot better off.
I think the world would probably collapse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying... I don't
like,
think
that's one of those things like, oh, that'd be great. Everybody would like to do that. But if you actually did that, then, like, you know what? I don't really feel like building this road. I'm going to go play hacky sack.
I mean,
not going to work out well for you.
Obviously, I'm kind of kidding. I mean, of course I think about the future a little bit, but I don't think nearly as much as most people. I'm definitely a here and now kind of person. And I think that reflects in my personality. Because I am the YOLO guy. I am the, hey, I may not have the $100 to spend on something, but you know what? YOLO, I'll figure it out later. Or there's 7 shots in front of me and someone's challenging me to do it. I'm probably going to fill it the next morning, but you know what? YOLO.
I don't know which one of our mindsets is correct. I envy your mindset a little bit, but I also feel like my mindset is maybe the more practical.
Probably smarter. But I mean, I can tell you, as being a dad of young children, I'm kind of getting back to that YOLO stage. Like, I'm kind of if an opportunity arises, YOLO, F it, let's do it.
I agree. I do live a little bit more in the moment when I'm around my children. But let's not turn this into a whole talking about our children episode like you always want to. Let us move on.
You're not going to tell the people that this is going to turn into a dad podcast?
No, because it never will. I know that's what you want to do. 67% of people say I polled the audience. Not a lot of votes so far, so I'll update it throughout the episode. But 67% of people say they live in the past. 33% in the present. Nobody has voted for the future yet. Interesting.
Live in the here and now, man. You never know. Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
It isn't, but if it does come and you're not ready for it, that's not gonna work out well for you. You just have to have a balance, man. It's bad that the answer to everything in life is basically it depends and it's a balance.
Moderation. I think the word moderation, if you apply that to your entire life, you'll have a good life. Because everything's about moderation.
My grandfather used to have a good saying about moderation. He said, moderation. He said everything in moderation, including moderation.
All right, let's give some shout-outs here. We'll start with Joseph Benoni Tonio. Screwed that one up.
He's a real person.
I mean, I think it is. I just think I screwed up the last name terribly. Nikolai Grable. Luke Brazili. Dan Schoen. Tukey Lee. I don't think Tukey's a real name, but if it is, I don't know why, but I was drawn to that.
I've actually heard of a person named Tukey.
Really?
Yeah.
Michael Madeira. Maria Lawless. Becker Beckley. That can't be real, right?
Becker Beckley?
Yeah, it can't be real.
Well, it's not. Some of those names aren't good enough to make up.
That is kind of true. Cade Smith, Johnny Indigo, and Nella Perzikakova.
Oh, you did that one. I thought there was no way that was getting out. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you. You all deserve the shout-outs for the day. Episode. Are we... Is it time?
No.
Come on! Nobody wants to hear
No,
me...
the only thing you want to do is talk about your candle.
I do.
You have to wait until before the top 5.
Well,
this isn't just about dad issues and candles, which I know that's all you want to talk about.
I'm just saying. Fine. Let's see. I have a couple of things.
I'm going to say this on the record. I only care about, I'm a father. Great to be a dad. It's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I don't care about your kids. I don't care about anybody else's kids. Nobody wants to hear about anybody else's kids.
I mean, I think...
Even your grandparents don't want to know about your kids.
I think if you care about the person, yeah. I mean, obviously, you're not going to care a lot, but I think you still care a little bit. If you're a friend, if you're a family member, of course you care a little bit if you care about the person.
How you and I have been best friends for how long?
I mean, what, 13 years?
I'm not even entirely sure of the name of your children.
Oh, well. I mean, that's
Do you know the name of my 2 children?
Yes.
Okay, all right. You say the oldest, and I'll try to guess your oldest.
Ooh. Logan.
Miranda.
That's the youngest.
Joanna is the oldest.
See? And your youngest is Riley.
Oh. Well, okay, so you're a better friend than I am.
I mean, you knew my kids' names, so I'll take it.
I did know your kids' names. Okay, I got that at least.
Anyways, I love how you said let's not turn this into a dad podcast, and you just asked a question about our children. So let me turn it around on something.
I wanted to see if you knew the name of my children. I wondered if you actually knew it.
Let me turn around on things that people really don't care about here.
All right.
So by the time this episode comes out, we will possibly have a new president of the United States of America, either Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. I don't know why I was going dark on both those names there. Regardless, do you think... this is kind of a two-pronged question. One, how annoying and out of touch are text messages and phone calls in terms of voting? You know, while you look at your phone and you get 10 text messages a day now, vote this, vote that. That's the first question. The second question I have for that is, do you think they actually work? Does anyone look at that text or get the voicemail and go, man, you know what? I am going to vote today, or I am going to do this because I got a text or a call?
I don't remember who said it, but there was somebody famous who said, never underestimate the stupidity of the American public. Like, I couldn't imagine going all the way up to this with all of the things happening and on either side being like, you know what? I just haven't made up my mind yet. I just have not made up my mind what I'm going to do. That to me is crazy.
I mean, I think it's, I mean, once again, I don't want to put my own thoughts into it, but I do think that this election, more than anyone else maybe in history, is the most, divisive. So yes, you're either one side or the other. I don't think there's anyone in the middle on this, and that's fine. You do you, but yeah, I don't think there's a gray area. It's very black or white to me. All right, let's see here. I think we need to give an RIP. The RIP of the week goes to Quincy Jones, 91 years old, passed away over the weekend. Probably the greatest music producer of our generation, like of our lifetime and our parents' lifetime, probably.
Yeah, I don't know any other music producers. No, dude. Is he better than Dr. Dre?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if you can say he's better than Dr. Dre.
Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Dr. Dre at all. He's great, but Quincy Jones worked, and you know what? I don't know if Dr. Dre is who's he's worked with all in all, but Quincy Jones, his career spanned, a half century, and he worked with everybody.
I don't know. I think that there's some big names that you can kind of put up there. When I think of like big time producers, Rick Rubin, Dr. Dre, Timbaland,
right. Jimmy, Iovine, whatever his name is.
Jimmy Iovine. I don't know if he was a producer, if he was something else, but the problem is Quincy. He did do Michael Jackson's Thriller.
He did, and that's where he got really famous. But I mean, he did several others. I mean, wasn't just Michael. This is kind of funny, but not really funny. James Vanderbeek, I'm sure we're all familiar with him. Teen Heartthrob, Dawson's Creek, not Friday Night Lights, Varsity Blues.
I don't want your life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I remember from Varsity Blues.
Poor guy has announced publicly that he has colon cancer. But it's kind of awkward because he is doing TV interviews and he's like in front of a theme park hotel while talking about his cancer diagnosis. And I don't know, I just thought it was kind of weird, and I just want everyone to know that if I ever go on this show and to announce that I have some kind of medical diagnosis, I'm going to do it right here. Not in front of a theme park background or on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, you got to be in your house. At least put a background on there. Put a Zoom background. You can't be I would like to say that I have colon cancer, and then the Incredible Hulk roller coaster is behind you.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't. Optics.
What are we What are we doing?
I'd like to thank Six Flags for putting me up here while I announce colon cancer.
So a top 5 I think we should do at some point are shows that should not have had a second season. I say that to preface this thought, which is, I've actually never seen an episode of that, but regardless,
I've never seen it either.
The second season of Squid Game is coming out, and I saw the trailer for it. If you haven't checked it out, do it. I think it's going to be absolutely terrible, and I feel like Squid Game should have been a one-off show instead of trying to make it into a complete show with series and things.
Yeah, that's one of those things where how are you going to move that forward, really? Yeah. It was such a big thing, though. There's no way that somebody's going to turn down that money. And even if I'm not a super artistic person, but even if I had really super artistic principles, and then somebody came at me with a truckload of money, I would probably be doing it. The guy who directed the new Joker movie basically said, they just gave me so much money, I couldn't not do it. And it was terrible, but I did it anyway.
It's getting a lot of hate, and I haven't seen it, but I feel like it can't be that bad, right?
Oh, man, it must be. I mean, everybody... I do think I understand what you mean in the sense that, I do think that sometimes public opinion kind of switches everything. And if the first person who sees it says it's good, then everybody else is like, oh, yeah, it's good. And if first person sees it says it's bad, then everybody's like, oh, it's so terrible. I think people are very swayed by the person who came before them. Oh, Future still has no votes.
Oopsie.
Everybody living in the past or the present. Okay, you got anything else there?
One other thing here. I saw this. Carter5.com listed the worst states to live in. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they are. I thought it was interesting. And I don't really agree with this, but number 1 was Alaska.
Oh, I could see it. If being outside isn't your thing, is probably not a great place to live. It's expensive, and it's not like you can get anywhere else.
Yeah, I wouldn't think. I mean, I would think, and I love my state, but Michigan, New York, somewhere maybe the large urban metropolis, not Alaska. I thought that was surprising.
Well, you have opportunity in big cities, though. Even if you have problems with big cities, you still have opportunity. I think that if you live in Alaska, you don't have much opportunity. Like, are you going to go out to the mountains today? Yeah, that's what else am I going to do? What were the 5 states? What were the 5 states?
So it was Alaska, Kentucky was second, which I guess I get, even though I don't know. I think Kentucky's pretty beautiful. Let's see here: Iowa, West Virginia, and Arkansas were the top 5.
The only thing I would say with that is a person who used to live in Kansas and now lives somewhere else. I don't think that people who live in rural areas and grew up in rural areas really understand how much more opportunity there is in bigger places. Because growing up in Kansas, I would always say, like, oh, you can do anything you want here. And then you move somewhere else and you realize, oh, you really can't. It really is different. Yes, you can do everything, but things need to be convenient for you to actually do them. And in rural places, it's not convenient. Like, I could go skiing and snowboarding when I lived in Kansas if I drove to Colorado. Now that I live in Washington, I can go skiing and snowboarding, and I drive 45 minutes. So...
Which, by the way, I feel like I need to say this, but you said you crashed this weekend on your moped or whatever you were on.
I crashed in my mountain bike.
And I have to tell you, you're looking good, man. There's no visible scarring. You look good.
I think I didn't realize this as that I've missed kind of being slightly injured. In the sense there's something about like going out and doing something, whether that's like working outside or doing something outdoors and getting hurt, like coming home with some blood on you. There's something about that you're like, yeah.
I gashed my finger over the weekend with a kitchen knife, and I felt kind of badass when I did it. So I know what you're saying.
There's something about, I think, for men, like getting injured. Like, yeah, got hurt today. Like, you need some battle scars.
Yeah, you need to just put it out there. Go run into a tree.
Right. Or throw your back out and get hospitalized picking up dog poop. That happens to a lot of people, right?
You know what? My back still hurts.
Since your back still hurt from picking up dog poop?
No. I also blew out my calf, for those of you that don't know.
Playing softball.
Right. Playing softball.
Really, you should say being at a softball game.
Oh, no, I was playing.
Were you, though?
I was.
Okay, all right.
I can also outrun a buffalo. Maybe not right now, but someday.
All right. Are you ready for your special time? I know.
Yes, I'm ready for my special time.
All right. That's the best I've ever done a horse. It's time. The Outlaw Candle Connoisseur ride. Whoa. I had a burp. Rides again. Candle of the month.
Best. Wow.
Okay.
I don't know how to follow that. All right.
Let's go for it, Big Hoss.
So it's November. What do you do in November?
Have Thanksgiving dinner, I guess. Wait for winter to be over.
You go cut down trees, some of us.
Oh, okay, manly man. All right, okay.
So my candle of the month, kind of unexpectedly, but wonderfully, is by Goose Creek. I think I featured them once or twice in the last couple of years. It is called Tree Cutting.
Ooh.
It's a 3-wick candle, relatively cheap, and it smells like, if I had to say something or describe it as something, it's kind of like when you're at a tree farm and you're trying to find that perfect spruce to cut down. And the cold air, the crisp air hits the pine and the spruce, and it just smells. It just smells like a tree that you want to cut down and make your own. And that's what this candle will do for you. It's awesome.
What's the price? Tell me what's the price? How many wicks?
3 wicks. I don't think there was any other option other than 3 wicks. And right now, it's $11 on sale from $25. So I don't know if it's going to be this price when the episode comes out. But if you want to grab candles, now until probably just before Christmas is the best time to do it out of all year round. Other than maybe 4th of July, because they have a lot of 4th of July sales too. But you can get a lot of candles for cheap right now. But definitely get tree cutting. It's awesome. It's
okay. What else did you kind of compare it against for the month? What were some of the other big ones you were looking at?
So I had a really nice Halloween one, and I was like, I wanted to showcase it. It's called Spiderweb Pancakes, and it's sweet, but it's also kind of grungy and dungy. It was an interesting scent, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
And then another one was called Cranberry Cocktail, and that was more of like a Thanksgiving candle that I thought about putting on here too, because it was very just obviously cranberry-ish, with a little bit of like stuffing vibe as well. Hearty, and can't fit it all in your hand kind of candle. So.
And just for the record, John does have 2 children. There is some sort of proof that he has had sex with a woman before. You ready for our top 5?
I am. I can't wait to see your wondrous choices.
Mine are all a simple man's choices. Because I'm a man of the people, not some bougie, snobby person. You're probably going to have all these fancy cheeses that nobody's ever heard of. That's not my list. This is a list for the people, for the common man, the common woman. Person who's not out there spending $75 for an ounce of cheese. Working people.
Are you done? Can we just get to the list?
I was running out of stuff. Okay, so our top 5 is top 5 cheeses. It's your number 1.
5.
Or 5. This is your number 5. Sorry.
I mean, are we done already?
Skip right to the end.
My number 5 is blue cheese.
Oh, okay. My number 5 is also blue cheese. I think my number 5 is blue cheese. To me is also fantastic. Blue cheese crumbles changed my life. Changed my life.
I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy it as a dressing. I enjoy it crumbles. I think it gets a bad name in the cheese family, but it's delicious.
Blue cheese is incredible. I don't know why people have a problem with blue cheese.
It's very versatile as well.
What's your number 4?
So this is probably the only cheese that I think you would have had on your list, and that's just the good old nacho cheese out of a can.
I mean, dude, no, man, that shit's gross. Just plain canned cheese. You're gonna put that as number 4,
or like the Tostitos, the dipping cheese, some kind of cheese out of a can.
Oh, you're not talking about the.
No, bro. Even though that's not terrible. I'm not that's not bad cheese. That has a place too. But no, I'm talking about the Tostitos cheese or nacho cheese out of a can kind of thing.
What do they call that when the cheese that comes out of you squirt it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You put it on crackers and stuff. Or you have it with crackers.
That? Cheese in a can.
Cheese? Can spray? Cheese spray? No.
Easy cheese.
Easy cheese.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if you're eating a lot of easy cheese, life's not going well. Life is not going well if you're eating a lot of cheese out of a can.
I mean, I think it could be worse. I mean, I think you're stereotyping there.
I mean, it could be worse, but it could certainly be better. You got some soul searching to do if you're just regularly sitting back there eating cheese out of a can.
Would you say that about people that do whipped cream out of a can?
No. I mean, unless you're doing that for drug purposes, but if you're just eating it, that's fine.
We've all been there. What's your number 4?
Parmesan.
Okay, that's
you
safe.
Can't. I would make an argument that Parmesan is one of the cheeses that we really cannot live without. You're going to eat anything Italian without Parmesan on it? Parmesan is an essential cheese. You have to have Parmesan.
I actually, instead of using Parmesan, I use oil and red pepper flakes.
Oh my God, you're such a snob. Why would you do that? It's still not cheese.
It's
You're
amazing.
just dumping oil and red pepper flakes over your spaghetti?
Yeah, I am actually. I had it tonight for dinner. Well, whatever I inhaled actually before I got on here with you.
Now think about how much better that would have been with Parmesan.
Not a
There
fan.
you go.
Never been the biggest fan of Parmesan.
Oh yeah, well everybody has some opinions that are completely wrong. What's number 3?
Why are you so angry? My number 3, and I think this is a very unpopular choice, but I love it. And it would be my number 1 if it was a more practical cheese. But my number 3 is goat cheese.
Oh. That's the only cheese that I actively dislike is any goat cheese kind of thing. Tastes terrible to me.
Man, you put goat cheese on top of, I don't know, say like a piece of meat, and you make it a little creamy. Whoa, it's amazing.
Keep your personal life out of it.
Whatever. Goat cheese is amazing, and I hope somebody out there agrees with me.
Yeah, I don't like any kind of goat cheese. None of it tastes good. It has that too much of a
Yeah.
taste to me.
God dang it. All right, what's your number 3?
Pepper jack. The spiciest of the cheese that I'm able to tolerate. I need a little pepper jack in my life.
If I was gonna go with like a slice of cheese, yeah, pepper jacks, or like what do they make? Ghost pepper now or whatever?
Too spicy for me, but that could be good. I thought about putting Colby. On my list at number 3.
Yeah, just okay. I mean,
what's your number 2?
Shredded cheese.
Okay. I mean, not exactly what I was thinking, but shredded, you can't go wrong.
I mean, kind of like your Parmesan argument. How many things do you, maybe you don't, but how many things do we put shredded cheese on a daily basis? Right? I mean, salads, tacos, hot dogs, like all kinds of stuff.
Can you think of a single thing that you would say is not better with cheese?
I mean, yes, there's several things, but
Go on then.
I mean, but I'm going to say weird, like fish. Fish, no, there's no piece of fish that's better with cheese on it.
I actually make fish sandwiches with cheese. It's delicious. I like it.
Okay. I mean, but you're not putting like a slice of American cheese on top of a piece of salmon.
Oh, well, I mean, I have. I put it on top of a salmon burger.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Still waiting.
Any ice cream? Anything cold? No, not doing that, right?
What about cream cheese?
Yeah, but not on top of ice cream.
No, but ice cream's an exception.
Well, hold
I'm
on,
talking
there's
about
cream
like an
cheese.
entree.
Hold on. There's cream cheese, like frosting, which technically, if you have an ice cream cake, it's on top of ice cream.
I guess you could say Asian food. Asian-inspired food was not really... That's not a lot of cheese in that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not putting, a slice of American on pad thai.
What if it's incredible, though? I thought that peanut butter on top of a cheeseburger would be ridiculous, but it tastes amazing.
Peanuts, you don't eat cheese and peanuts. Like, you don't... Yeah, there's some things.
Very few. Oh, my number 2.
Yeah.
My number 2 is mozzarella.
Okay, yeah, similar to like the shredded cheese, right? Mozzarella cheese. Or are you talking about like cheese sticks?
No. Well, yeah, I mean, I'll have cheese sticks. I'm
Yeah,
not
you
going
will.
to turn down cheese sticks. But mozzarella, what's your number 1?
I hated putting this on, but I feel like it had to be a unanimous number 1. I presume it's your number 1 too. And it's just American cheese slices.
Plain old American cheese. Kraft. Cheaper the better. Process the crap out of it.
Process is fun. And if you get like the really cheap kind, the plastic sticks, and it's like rubber.
Yeah. Actually, I would say you've gone too cheap when you can't get the plastic off. There you're starting to think like maybe I shouldn't have gotten this cheese. Kraft is as cheap as I'm going to get. Like Great Value or something where you're like, oh, that's not even cheese.
I'll go great value. I'm not afraid of great value.